everyone. So I thought I would get on here very quickly and do a bit of an update for you. So the last time I talked to you guys, I was telling you about my really awful time and with my period, and that I was waiting for a gynecology appointment and then the nurses striked, so I missed that gynecology appointment, but then they gave me another one, which was today. So I get to give you all the details. So I went in, she had obviously briefed herself on my history and said to me, so how is it that a baby about to be born flips to coming out feet first? She was talking about Micah. Obviously she'd read through my notes that Micah like went from head first to like feet first, like as he was about to be born. She was like, so how does that happen? I'm like, you tell me, it was a bit weird. So anyway, so she read through my notes and stuff, but she got me to explain what had been going on anyway. And for those of you who don't know what the heck I'm talking about, I will link in a card above. I need to learn which side is the opposite, isn't it? So it must be this side. There'll be a card above which will link you to the video where I explained what the heck was going on with my period. Basically it hasn't stopped in like 4 months, 5 months. Got into the appointment and she talked about, you know, that C-section and stuff, and was just interested because it was fascinating. And then she said I would like to do a like an internal and do I can't remember what she said, but anyway, I got up on the bed. There was another nurse there. She was trying to distract me because I said, oh, I'm a little nervous, I feel like it's going to hurt because I've had an HSG. If you haven't had an HSG, a histopingogram, or however you pronounce it, they say, oh, it just feels like cramping. No, it did not freaking feel like cramping. It was awful. It was so painful. I will admit that I had to use a bigger like cathetery type thing for me because they couldn't get this one. It kept bending or something. They couldn't get through my cervix. So I had to use a much bigger one. It was so painful. That's probably a story I should tell you guys actually, because I haven't even probably told you about it, but it was really painful. And so I said that to her. I said, I am a little nervous that this is going to be painful. And she said, this is a much smaller catheter, but you know, like, and the other nurse that was there, so the gynecologist did the procedure, the nurse was there with me, and she was just saying, so how old are your kids? And she was just distracting me, which was good. So there was a bit of cramping. So she put this catheter, obviously just like a smear, opened you up and, you know, all graceful, and put this catheter through, and then she was doing something and I didn't really notice. I just thought she was taking some sort of sample to take to the lab so that if there was anything sinister going on, that they were kind of getting on to it before I had to wait for my actual procedure. And then when she was finished, she was like, so that's an endometrial scratch. And I was like, huh, okay, didn't know you were doing that, but that's all good, whatever. So she pulled out the tube and it was just full of like blood and mucousy stuff, and then she just kind of tipped it all into a specimen cup. But she was like, yeah, so that was a endometrial scratch. So for anyone who's going to be having an endometrial scratch, it wasn't really that painful. Like, I don't want to say it's painful, like you could feel that they were in there and they were scratching things, but it wasn't like, oh my god, that really hurts. It was just like, okay, yep, oh, we're done, okay, cool. And it took all of like 3 minutes, you know, by the time she was in there and got this thing through my cervix, and I felt her like pushing it through like this, and I was like, oh, wow, how far in there can you go? But yeah, so that was really interesting. So when I saw it all kind of plop into this little thing, I was like, ooh, that looks kind of yuck. I am bleeding a bit from it now. I've filled, so since being at my appointment, which was, so my appointment was about 3.5 hours ago, and I've definitely filled up a panty liner of blood. So there is a little bit of blood coming out, but she said that was to be expected, because obviously she's just been like scratching up the inside of my uterus. But yeah, but I'm not in any pain right now. Straight after I was a little bit crampy, but nothing major at all. Like, didn't need Panadol or anything like that. It was fine. Anyway, so she did that basically just to get stuff to the lab in case something sinister was going on and they needed to get onto things quickly. So what's going to happen is, she said they're going to do a let's attempt the correct pronunciation here, a hysteroscopy. Hysteroscopy? One of them. Hysteroscopy. Where they put this thing, opening out just like a smear, put this thing in. It's like a camera, and they can also do little things like cut things or here. Hang on, where's the inside? You can do all sorts of... this page is too big for my camera. There we go. There we go. So they can like cut things, scrape things, microwave ablation things. They can remove adhesions and remove a uterine septum. Those are the interesting things they can do when you have a hysteroscopy. Don't know if that's the right word. Anyway, so this is what they're going to do to me. They're going to go in there and they're pretty much going to scrape everything out and get rid of whatever they find in there. She said that she doesn't know. They're like, you know, they've seen something on ultrasound, but until it goes to the lab, you don't know what it is. So basically they're going to go in there, get rid of everything that's wrong in there without taking out my actual uterus, and send it to the lab. And if it was polyps or fibroids or whatever, hopefully that will deal with it. I will have normal periods, or I will go back to being my usual PCOS self and have no periods, and then that will be that. That's hopefully the plan. If the cells come back abnormal, obviously then there will have to be more tests done. Is it cancer? What the heck is it? And hopefully that is not going to be the case. So that's what's going to happen. So they do put you to sleep for this, so it is under a general anesthetic. So Martin will have to look after me for a couple of days. She said after this I'll probably be in hospital up to, you know, like maybe the rest of the day, but I don't, it's like an outpatient thing. I don't have to stay the night as long as everything goes fine. So I can have the procedure done, wake up, spend a couple of hours in the hospital, whatever. Martin takes me home and looks after me for a couple of days. Then everything should be back to normal, and I wait a week for my results, which will hopefully come back as just everything's fine and they've dealt with it by taking it all out. Sorry, I didn't realise I was so blurry. Hopefully that is the end of this journey and not the start of another one. Let's not have any cancer journeys on this channel. So that is the update. She did not say whether it was a fibroid or a polyp or cancer, or she just said there's something obviously there that they saw on the ultrasound, and they're basically going to go in there and get rid of it all, and hopefully that's the end of that. So when is it going to happen? She said that the wait time is around 4 months, but she said that I'm going to be getting in much quicker than that, which is great. So I'm expecting around maybe 2 months wait, and then I'll probably get this procedure, because I said to her that I've only got 6 days worth of Provera left, and as soon as I stop the Provera I'm going to get this bleeding again. And she's like, that's fine, I'll write you another prescription. So she wrote me a prescription for 3 months worth of Provera, but she did say, I'm giving you 3 months worth, but you won't need that much because hopefully we can get you in before that. So I'm thinking around maybe 2 to 3 months until I get this procedure done. So that is what is going on with that story. So I just want to say thank you to everyone who commented on my last video about this whole scenario. Thank you for all your well wishes, and yeah, I read through every single comment. I did try to reply to a lot of them. I need to go through and reply to some of the newer ones, but I really appreciate that. And yeah, it makes me feel like there is still a community here, even though I am not the best YouTuber at all. I am a very inconsistent YouTuber, I know that. But I do appreciate all of you sticking around and sending your well wishes. That was really appreciated. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. So now the countdown is on for my procedure and to see what happens at the end of all of that. And I am a little bit nervous because, you know, going under a general anesthetic is, you know, something that you can be kind of a little nervous about. I have been under general before to get my 4 impacted wisdom teeth out. If you want to scroll through all my past videos, you will find the video of me coming out of anesthetic. It's quite funny. But yeah, so I'm a little nervous, but I'm hoping that this outcome is going to be really, really good. Thank you so much for watching. Give this video a thumbs up and comment if you'd like to. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next vlog. Alright guys, see ya.